Captain Gopinath, will this be victory enough? A. B. Will the protests continue till the process of legislating in Parliament is over? Will Freedom Park continue? Will Necklace Road in Hyderabad continue? Will Ramlila continue with the same fervour if the fast is withdrawn till the law is legislated in Parliament?
I think the protest must continue because it's very important that it translate into some kind of concrete steps. But I think the most important thing is that I've been now going to this Freedom Park for the last 10 days. Even yesterday, along with Santosh Hegde, we went on a 17-kilometer long human chain in the technology park. What he has done is suddenly to a population which was, smug and complacent, which was in their own, very cynical, very skeptical. So they were in their own cocoon, of their pubs and their jobs and their family or whatever clubs. He has suddenly given them hope and optimism that, it is your future, and if you don't take part in that future, in scripting that future, you have no future. Nobody is going to come and clean it up for you, and your smugness and your cocoon of comfort will be destroyed because this corruption is going to be like a flame which is going to consume the society. I think the population has woken up to that because there is optimism that they can bring about a change. This optimism and this hope was not there. I think that is the most important thing that has happened, because I remember even when I contested an election as an MP, as an independent, when I talked about all these issues, there were hardly anybody who would come because they said, it's not going to make a change, all politicians are the same. This is not going to make a change, so what is the point of voting? It's like people, even stopping the car and peeing on the roads in Cubbon Park here because they think that anyway my not peeing on the road will not going to change the system or will not go to reduce cleanliness. So I think the most important thing is that he has given courage, he has given hope, he has given optimism for people to come and take part and invest their time.
Yes.
And I think that is the most important message. And the second thing is, it was not a fight against the Congress. I think the Congress made the biggest mistake because they thought it was a fight against them. And they got into all these kind of defensive strategies, and there were a lot of loose cannons there giving all kind of statements. Anna's call was a call for transformation of the political class,
yes,
the existing political system, because though it is a great democracy, democracy had been subverted. So we all know that. Even Vajpayee said that
yes,
the politicians' career begins with a lie.
No, but
we all know that. So, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I completely agree, but while I'm listening to all of this, I have just simple question here. If this was the solution which you had to come to, Nikhil, why did we have to push the country to the brink? Parliamentary procedure or constitutional procedure was subverted. Okay, Nikhil, I'm coming to you, Vinod Mehta. That's the critical question everybody in the country is asking. Okay, Nikhil goes first and then Vinod Mehta. Everyone in the country wants to know, if you had to come out with this solution, why were we pushed to the brink for so long? What was this all about? Nikhil, what do you think it was all about?
Yeah, I think one has to recognize that there are a whole lot of interest preventing these kinds of issues from coming to the fore. I think one has to recognize the tremendous effort that has been made to carry a process from a village or a street right till Parliament and celebrate that being brought so far. I think one has to recognize that there are very contentious issues and stumbling blocks in being even able to implement many of these. So now we are coming to a point where it goes to Parliament, where one will have to start looking at things, and it is very, very good that the three issues that have been raised are really agenda issues. The agenda issues allow you to then go down to see how best to go about doing these.
No, but then,
and I think for many, many years, these 42 years about the Lokpal, but this is a movement that is actually talking about governance in this country, it's talking about corruption in this country, it's talking about responsiveness and accountability in this country.
But
for bringing something from the grassroots right up to the Parliament, it's not a question to ask why is it taken so long. It's an understanding why it's taken
fundamental
so long.
Fundamental question India wants to know. India wants to know one question. if this was possible so easily, and I hope it's possible. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. I'm told the letter is on its way. Maybe it's being folded as we speak. But the question is, if this was what it was all about, Mr. Mehta, why was the whole country pushed to the brink for 10 days and more?
Arnab, the answer to your question is very, very clear. It comes from the first draft that the government produced for the Lokpal. That was a shameful and a feeble draft, and had it not been for the pressure of civil society, the government would have tried to push that draft through.
Yes.
Therefore, the intentions of this government, without the pressure of civil society, were always suspect. And I say one other thing. You have asked a very good question. What is the moral pressure? I can already tell you that the Goa Chief Minister has said that he will create a Lokayukt, which he has been resisting. I understand Mr. Narendra Modi, who is also resisting suo moto, is going to create a Lokayukt.
But
This agitation and this protest will put the wind up all the scamsters in Indian political life.
no,
Because they can still do their scams. I'm not saying that scams will disappear and corruption will disappear. But now they know that there is public opinion, they can't hide behind anything, and there is a law. So to that extent, this is a wonderful thing that has happened. It has deepened and enriched Indian democracy. It has ensured that people participate in decision making not just once in 5 years, but they do it on a continuous process.
Yes.
And to that extent, the credit must go to Anna Hazare.
But then-
and if there's
but
some
then-
little credit left, I'd like to give it to Nikhil Dey and Aruna Roy.
no, share the credit. I mean, don't try and divide civil society. There was also an attempt to do that. I think today even Aruna Roy's team gives full credit to Anna Hazare. Here's a question. The brilliant thing about a legal argument is, Manisha Priyam, that a lawyer can argue this side and be convinced he's right, then he can jump on the other side and be convinced he's right on the other side, and appear to be equally sure of both points of view depending on which side is convenient. Now let me pick up one thing which Vinod Mehta said, Manisha Prem, Lokayukts. Government says jurisdiction. You will break the federal structure of the democracy if you have state Lokayukts. We can't do it. But I think there are enough rules in the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is vested with powers to legislate and make laws for states if the situation so demands. So they can argue technically to make it happen as well. It's just that they are choosing not to do so because they are worried about the consequences.
Let's not pause the debate. If you read the essence of the Constitution, in national interest, there could be legislating. At one point of time, this provision in the Constitution that the government could in fact legislate on items in the state list was used in a sense to promote nationalization in our country. Mining, for example, was a state subject, was taken up. Education, for example, during the emergency or towards the end of it, was brought onto the concurrent list. So there are many ways of going about the thing. In fact, there is nothing in the Constitution that stops you today. There could be very creative ways of looking at the Lokayuk. The center could give an enabling framework. There could be a central advisory board like you have in education, where the education minister of the state meet. So this is in fact a very major reform. It's unprecedented in the history of our country. For the first time, the third item on the charter, the discussions on Lokayukt, for example, or even the discussions on the citizens' charters will bring this government to talk to its federal partners. And what we are not realizing at this point of time, which Shekhar in an earlier program mentioned, was that today a number of states are already proactive.
I have some breaking news coming in from Srinjoy. Srinjoy, yes, on the letter. When is it coming?
Oh no, there are several things that we now know is happening. First of all, the document is ready, and the document is now going to be translated and handed over to Vilas Rao, who will give it to Anna Hazare. So the translation is now taking place, which is why there is this delay of half an hour or 1 hour. As it is, it's a very technical document full of parliamentary language, which is why it is probably taking a little time. The contents, as far as the contents are concerned, it really has tomorrow's program. the fact that the Jan Lokpal bill will be discussed in the Lok Sabha, and then what exactly it will contain, including the 3 points on the Lok Ayukt, the charter, and the law of bureaucracy.
Okay, now,
There is the expectation from this in this government that once Lokpal Deshmukh takes it somewhere late tonight or in the next few hours, then the fast will finally.
I think that's a very bad audio line, Sunjay. I'm going to have to cut you off. Unfortunately, try and copy that again. Just to repeat for Kalikesh before I go to him, what we heard from our National Affairs editor is, document is ready. It's being translated in Hindi and Marathi and other languages as is appropriate. It's going through a legal check and then is being given. It will include the 3 points. So we can optimistically feel today if the letter is given, Anna may withdraw the fast. Or at least tomorrow morning. And the letter will be probably carried personally by Vilas Rao Deshmukh. Is this a master stroke by the Manmohan Singh government, Kalikesh? Because now if the BJP dares to vote against any parameter that will ensure a strong Lokpal, then the BJP, which has been milking mileage on this, will also face the public wrath. They have kept this clever ambiguity going so far. Now they are pushed into a corner. They have to vote this way or that.
Absolutely, Arnab. I think Manmohan Singh and the Congress government made the biggest mistake of their lives by taking Anna Hazare on directly. And now they are sort of course correcting on a political level, and they're trying to get the BJP into the discussion, which has now, so far, as you very correctly said, been very ambiguous. They haven't made the stance clear. And both the UPA and the NDA in this case will tomorrow have to come on board and make the stance very clear. Now, it would be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, because a lot of the parties such as the BJP have given full support to Anna Hazare. And we would like to see both these major parties, the BJP and the Congress, coming out in absolute clear terms as to what they feel about the Jan Lokpal bill or the Lokpal bill, as the case may be.
Well, as I thank you all, gentlemen.